Birds of a Feather style panel discussion for all of you. And I'm honored to be joined by some amazing startup pioneers in the space of OpenUSD and 3D workflows. So each of my speakers will be joining us one by one to do a quick 5 minutes, we'll try to keep it to 5-minute presentation, where they're going to share their experience with USD and how it's improved and impacted their workflows and what they are solving for their industries. But first, just a little bit of context that I'm going to breeze through. We are talking here today about 3D workflows and USD, and this is all really stemming from this industrial digitalization rush. We've got industries worth $50 trillion that are racing to digitalize. And this is across all these different use cases, from factory digital twins to robotics to design and design digital twins. And all of us share some common problems, or I should say demands, in 3D workflows, from the need to have unified digitalization to having physically accurate digital twins that represent the real world, to full fidelity, immersive spatial computing, like virtual and augmented reality, and being able to leverage the full power of generative AI. So that's where USD and NVIDIA Omniverse come in. And I'm not here today to talk a ton about the Omniverse platform, but I wanted to set this context to really emphasize that Omniverse is not a tool. We are a platform for developers to connect, and we help connect and supercharge the world's largest tool ecosystems. And so that's who I have here today, those who are building those tools for digital worlds and helping us answer, what does it take to build the next era of advanced 3D solutions? So with that, I'm going to call to the stage my first speaker, Chris Andrews. Thank you. Here you go.
Yeah,
just that one.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. Hi, I'm Chris Andrews. I am the COO and head of product for a startup called Rendered.ai. We're an AI accelerated partner and an inception partner with NVIDIA. Sorry, that's me. So I have the unusual distinction of having shipped multiple 3D hero products from both Autodesk and Esri. If you happen to have driven on any major infrastructure such as bridges or roads that have been renovated in the last few years or built, you've probably benefited from a 3D product that I drove directly or that I heavily influenced. I've also had experience in life sciences 3D applications. And then ArcGIS Earth is an example of a product that I drove that was for public sector customers. And actually millions of people use it today, including me, when I go skiing, because I can use it on my mobile phone to track my runs. At Rendered, we're now helping expose 3D simulation for customers to generate synthetic computer vision data for training algorithms. One of the things that we've experienced at Rendered.ai is that the customer's use case is intimately involved in driving the data that is required and the technology that is implemented for the customers. This has been true with every problem that I've ever helped solve, and it's maybe even more true today. If you look across domains such as AEC, life sciences, pick your domain, right? Warehouses and factories, there is no one 3D that fits everybody's use case. And that, I think, we're going to hear over and over, and we're going to experience more and more as we push platforms like Omniverse out into the world. If we look around us today, it seems like everybody is capturing everything in 3D and 2D, and we know we're being captured right now. There's somebody in the background who's generating a digital twin of you right now somewhere. If we look at domains like Earth observation, what we know is that there will be about 50 times as many satellites collecting data about the Earth in orbit by the end of this decade as there were at the beginning. And that doesn't even count the change in sensor capacity of these satellites. Tremendous amounts of data are being collected. If we look at domains like hospitals, schools, and retail, it's about 10x or 100x times as much data. And beyond that, now we're even generating data about real-world things. We're trying to generate and process and collect all that data so that we can achieve knowledge and insight in order to drive action. We are faced with some tremendous issues as a species, as a society, and we need more data to inform our actions to deal with those issues. And we're all here because we all think that 3D, machine learning, and artificial intelligence can help arrive at solutions to some of those issues. One thing that I've heard repeatedly throughout my career is that customers typically expect data that they collect to be reusable across multiple applications. Data is expensive to collect, and customers want to squeeze every dollar, euro, and yen out of every vertex and image that they collect. Unfortunately, in my experience, users are almost always frustrated. The data they collect for one project is the wrong vintage, it may have the wrong coverage, it may have the wrong resolution, may not even have the right ownership provenance for them to be able to use it on the next project. I can't tell you anything positive there. Unfortunately, those issues are always going to be with us. Oops. The fundamental reason for that is that your 3D and my 3D are not the same thing. If I take, for example, a city drainage project, the data resolution, provenance, vintage, and coverage of the data required to resolve that drainage project are going to be fundamentally different from data for an urban planning project covering the same geographic extent. Now, we can talk about dropping out format, which is what that was about, and that's part of why we're here today, because we're introducing concepts around OpenUSD. But I will tell you that we're going to keep chasing data because yesterday's collected data is not ever going to be complete enough for tomorrow's problems. We up here and in this room are recognized as kind of the trusted advisors that are going to bring the message of what to do back to our customers. We can't go back and tell them that one 3D solution is going to solve everything. We actually have to help them understand how to optimally collect or build what they need to solve today's problem and to basically be the foundation for tomorrow's problem. One of the key stepping stones to solving problems optimally is open standards. I have worked with the Open Geospatial Consortium for about 15 years or more. I've written parts of the i3S spec that are in OGC. I've worked with 3D tiles. And now with Rendered.ai, I get to continue working with 2D and 3D standards, including things like OpenUSD. At Rendered, we are using OpenUSD as part of the 3D persistence backbone to enable more simulations with fewer data translations. So we use Omniverse and OpenUSD together in some cases to provide physically accurate synthetic computer vision data for training algorithms. And you can imagine we are running into situations, use cases that range everything from agriculture to defense to manufacturing. And so we need to be able to use open standards for data and also open platforms like Omniverse, because using more standardized technology enables us to do more and participate in larger ecosystems that will enable us to do more than we could ever do alone. So that's it for my intro here, and thank you very much. I think go ahead. All right.
Scott, you're up.